Hey, hope you're well. I'm going to jump into a couple of different hives today. It's the second week of April, I believe. Lots of things blooming, man. The tulip poplars, can start to see a little bit of privet. Flow looks like it's on right now. I'm going to check and just get into a couple of hives and see how they're doing. I really want to make sure that I don't have any queen cells. You know, if the flow starts up good, usually the queens will slow down on the queen cell tendency, but that's not always the case. So you just got to make sure they don't swarm on you. That's what I'm going to do today. Stay with me. I'm going to jump into this big hive right here, see how the honey's going. Boy, they got a lot of good activity. Bees are moving around good. They're out and about. Lots of foragers out. So let's jump in. I'm going to smoke them down just a little bit. That queen is likely up top here. Last time I got into this box, she was actually on this outside frame. And I know I hear people all the time saying you don't usually find the queen there, and I agree. She's usually looking for other places to lay, but that doesn't mean she can't be on this outside frame. So it'll be very easy here. Getting these bees up, trying not to roll anything. All right, nice and easy. Well, that frame's good and heavy though. They are stacking the nectar. Look at all this pretty nectar here. Pollen, bee bread. It's just soupy, wet bee bread down in there. That'll actually make some good honey later on. They're starting to pack this in. So the nectar flow is on, it just hasn't hit the top supers yet. They're packing these bottoms. Let me just make sure I don't see the queen anywhere here. I don't just this moment, so I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave this one out right here. Later in the year, you would not do this, or they would be robbing it. Okay, let's jump in and see what's in the next few. These are pretty good right now. A little bit of wind coming off the lake. Gorgeous. A clean cup down there, nothing in it. Lots of nectar on the outside. Looking all through this one, looks like a pretty frame. Nectar, there's a big drone right there. There's the queen. All right, here's the queen right here. She is right here in the middle. Here, walking around. Beautiful. Okay. Put her back in here nice and safe. And we know the queen is on that frame on the outside. Okay, here's the next one. Boy, she has just laid all in here. Look at all that. I hope you can see that milky white larva all down in there. Beautiful. Whole inside is brood. This whole thing is brand new brood. Here's emerging brood, and she's laying anywhere where they've started to emerge. Lots of milky white all the way around the bottom. Beautiful. Okay, that's two frames that are going to be brood because she's laying on this one right now, and that's number 2. Okay, let's get this next one out of here. They don't like me messing with the queen. I did mark her just a second ago, but all right. Full brood. Wow, she has laid this entire thing with brood. It's all eggs. Eggs and little white larvae, so that's 3. Just making sure I don't see any queen cells. There's some tons of little eggs down in here. Wow, she is busy. Busy girl right there. I may even add a frame of this brood to the to some of the packages I just set. I'll make up my mind depending on how much I see. Alright, that's more of a nectar. That's interesting, kind of a nectar frame right in the middle on the top. There's eggs. Eggs, nectar, got pollen, bee bread, everything. Some of everything. Alright, let me smoke them down a little bit. I'm using some brand new gloves today because my other ones are worn completely out. And I've got some called Apex gloves on the way, so I'm excited to use those. I hear good things about them, so I like these little goat skin gloves that aren't real expensive. They last a good time. My other ones probably lasted me, I don't know, last 2 years worth. Look at all this brood. Tons of bees here. That's probably 5. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna knock off these little queen cups here. Let's see if anything's in here. That one looks dry. Those are just little drones. I'm going to tear that little cup off of here, so I really don't have anything. That's a little drone. Okay. All right, that's looking pretty good. Let's go over here. Keep looking through this little hive. Boy, there's a bunch of bees in here. A bunch of bees. Look at this. Now, look at all these drones. See this pile of drone cells in here. See if there's anything else that looks odd. That's just an odd configuration. I might have to come back and clean that up. Lots of room on here. They're starting to stack nectar. Got little bitty eggs all down in here. I can see them all in the middle. Man, tiny little eggs. If I was gonna put a frame in, it's got brand new nectar up top. Teeny tiny little eggs. I hope you can see that down in the bottom. Little bitty C shapes. Some of them are still standing. So right there, look at that beautiful brood. That'd be a great one to take, put into a 2-frame, and you could make your own queen right out of that. In fact, I might do that a little bit later on. Okay, pulled another one. They're just drawing these out beautifully. I pre-wax these. That's the way to do it. Just make sure you got a lot of wax rubbed on a new frame. They're pulling this one all kind of out wonky, but they'll work it out. Right now I got a little bit of drone right there, so that's okay. I don't like columns, but they're building that all the way across at least. So let's see, looks like they're just doing the same thing here on some new frames. They're after me a little bit right here. They're not real happy with me. I think it's okay. I got that one inserted. I'm just going to take this big frame here. Got all these pretty bees and nectar. Just slide it right down, nice and easy. All right, nice and easy. Sometimes you can make a little bit of a mistake. This hive can be a little bit hotter, so it doesn't take much of a mistake to get them really not liking you much. This queen does a beautiful job of laying, obviously. Tons of brood up here, but these bees can be a little bit hotter, no question. But they actually say that hotter bees, now it might be a total myth, hotter bees can sometimes bring in more honey, and I'll buy that. All right, you get off the corner, girls. All right, bottom box is absolutely packed. Trying to just keep them as packed as possible, especially through honey flow. So they should start really bringing in some honey here pretty soon, I would hope, as long as the flow comes. So always watching for a good flow. That's not guaranteed whatsoever. So hopefully we'll get some good weather, keep the storms away to the point where we can get a little bit. Well, I missed up and bumped that little girl. All right, come on out of here. Let's look and see what we got here. What I think they're doing is just continuing to fill up these 2 boxes. There's honey capped right there, a little bit darker. I'm getting this ready. Pretty honey capped right here. Looks good. Okay, I'm gonna set this to the side because I know the queen's not in this box. If I see a queen in this box, we got an issue. Okay, keep going. Okay. Watch yourself, little girl. I don't want to squeeze you with my thumb. All right, interesting. They're building on down at the bottom here. Got nectar, pollen, patty. They're cleaning this up. Looks like they're waiting on her to come down and maybe lay in this. I'm not sure. Let's see what they got over here. If you blow on them, they'll move. Just want to make sure there's a queen cup. I just want to get rid of that little cup right there. Make sure there's nothing in it. And I actually want to take these bottom ones off. Get rid of that. I'll pick it up after I'm done. But that doesn't really help, all that extra. Doesn't really help. Okay. They may be getting these ready so that she can come right back down, start laying in the bottom. But yeah, look at all this brood. Good grief, how pretty. Tons of brood. They got the other ones polished around the edge. She ought to be coming down anytime. Starting to fill these. Beautiful pollen in here. Don't see any queen cells. And that's what I'm looking for. So there's another brood frame right there. Absolutely packed with brood. That is a lot of brood frames.
I'm glad I got these new gloves, because what I was noticing was I had some holes in the other one, and these little girls can find the holes. Look at all this brood. They're polishing those areas, waiting for her to come down and lay. So she's probably going to come down and bring her down and start laying back in these areas where they're vacating right now. Ton of brood. Crazy amount of brood. Smoke them off here just a little bit. The wind's keeping the smoke from helping me too much. Okay, this one's got tiny little eggs and brood down in the bottom. She's already come down here. I'll try to get that off the bottom here, but look at all this brood, pollen. What a pretty frame right here. You could take that frame and start a whole new little hive with it, or colony. Stick it in a 2-frame and leave it alone, and put a little empty frame right beside it. Look at all this brood. Again, tons of brood. This girl is a laying machine. Just a laying machine. Incredible. Look at this pattern. Wow. Don't see any queen cells, so I'm gonna put that back. Tremendous amount of bees. This thing's about to absolutely explode. Alright, girl. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep working here. See if I can. Look at all this brood. Wow. I mean, this hive is about to absolutely explode. Got a little drones down at the bottom. Here's a little clean cup. I'm going to do away with that cup while I'm here. They'll just build it right back, but I'm going to check and see if it looks empty. Look at all this brood. Alright, no queen cell, so that's good. Alright, keep going through here. Just make sure we don't see anything. I mean, this thing is packed with bees. Brood, tons of nectar, pollen, bee bread, a little bit of brood. She'll be down here laying in that before you know it, and nectar. Alright, okay, these are the last frames. They're already starting to cap those, but look at all this beautiful nectar going in, soaking wet. And then looks like the last frame is the same thing, so I'm just going to check it real quick and then get out of their hair. Alright, beautiful nectar, no queen cells. This hive has absolutely exploded from... Well, I know that took a little while, but I wanted to do a detailed hive inspection of this big box full of bees, and it is about to explode again with the number of bees. I can't even tell you how many frames of brood I just went through there. Probably 15 frames of brood if you think about what was really in that entire 2 levels of brood boxes. So that is just a ton of bees that are about to explode. This thing is absolutely packed. Bees are out and about, but man, can't wait to see what they can bring in. Hopefully the flow will start pretty heavy and we can fill this box up. Hey, if you like, subscribe. God bless.